Welcome to the DI 101 webinar series. My name is Lindsay Airjohn, and I'm a marketing specialist for TopBuild's family of companies, including Distribution International. If you're new to the DI 101 webinar series, it's an incredible resource offered to DI customers, partners, and associates. By partnering with our manufacturers and our industry experts, these webinars deliver informative presentations about industry trends, new technology, new products, and product applications. In order to fully support our customers, Distribution International offers products and solutions from multiple manufacturers and brands in many product categories. This webinar does not represent an endorsement of one manufacturer or brand over another. We pride ourselves in partnering with manufacturers that deliver products of the highest qualities to our customers. We're extremely excited to welcome Thermal Ceramics for today's webinar presentation. The presentation will include information about their advanced capabilities and innovative product portfolio, including FireMaster XLS and high-quality blanket insulation. Today's presenters include Luis Carosa, Scott Higginbottom, and Charlie Pickens. We're proud to have such a great panel of experts present today, and we thank them for their time. We will field questions at the end of the webinar. To submit questions, please use the questions tab on the GoToWebinar control panel. You can submit your questions at any point during the webinar, and we will answer the questions at the end of the webinar. Without further delay, I will turn this over to Luis with Thermal Ceramics.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Yes. And thank you for everyone that takes the time to participate for this webinar. And I just make the introduction for who is Morgan and what we are capable to offer, what's our mission, our goal. And after that, we just pass to Scott that moving to the interesting top that talk about fire protection and board to grace ducts and ventilation ducts, and Charles will be talk about the products as well. This is just who I am. Yes, I not spend so much time here, but I came from. It's clear now that I'm not a West person. Yes, from my accent here. Yes, I'm a Brazilian person. I start working Morgan in 1997 as a trainee, and after that, most of the time spend time in technical in the engineering department. As I progress here, I'm moving to US in 2019 to be responsible for the engineering department and the business development manager now. And I have a little experience for main applications that involve like insulation or selection of material. With me, we have Scott Higginbottom. Scott is our business development manager for fire protection, responsible for building constructions and marine applications. Scott RB have many experience on fire protection, the codes, the listing, and he already with Morgan for 15 years. Yes, and Charlie Pickens is another engineer today. Charlie they already have a few roles in Morgan. Yes, but Charlie is responsible now from product manager for fibers. Yes, and he's been with us for 70 years and on this that have a lot of experience for fibers as well. And just I not informed this, but I have 26 years inside Morgan. Yes, we can move to the next slide, please. This that is just the agenda that you want to cover. Yes, we just explain about Morgan, the background, the engineering service that we can provide. And after that, we just move into Scott that talk about fire protection or passive fire protection. In the end, like Charlie's, you'll be talk about high temperature blankets and what we can offer to the market. And open for questions. Next slide. This is just a culture from Morgan. Anytime that we start a meeting, internal meeting or external meeting, we just spend a little time to talk about safety share. Just that we can always talk about safety, or sometimes we use the ethical terms that we discuss. This is really important. And this time I just selected the burnout. I think we are post-COVID. Yes, looks like that we never have a COVID in the world, but in reality we are survive. Yes, for the COVID, but everything changed. Yes, I don't know about everyone that be in this call, but look like that we are have a lot to do and not so much have time to dedicate to our families or have a life balance. Yes, and it's just that you can be able to hit, to know your limits. Yes, and sometimes say you not want you achieve the burnout. Yes, that you cannot uh, just be so overwhelming for work or for some personal lives or situations in your case. Yes, that you cannot be uh, connect or be in balance, let's say this way. Yes, this is just some highlights here, what we normally need to do to try to protect yourself. And I don't want to spend so much time on this. It's more, if you be in a situation like this, always share with others. Yes, I'm sure that a coworker or someone, when you be in a situation or too much work, they always have like a take a second opinion. Someone is always help you on this, that you cannot feel the pressure. Yes, all of us in the same page, and let's help each other. Yes, let's move on to the next slide, please. Okay, who is Morgan? Yes, or what is Morgan? Morgan, the headquarter of Morgan is in Windsor, UK. Yes, we been in the market for more than 160 years. We start the Morgan Group. We start making crucibles for foundries. Yes, we continue to have this business until today. And over the time, Morgan just acquired, like say, the Babcock Wilcox in the time that make the ceramic fiber. Yes, start to make insulation material, and 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 have another division too that is technical ceramics. That's now the group itself. If we have like presence in more than 50 countries for operations that we can produce or make parts to the market. Yes, we are selling material in more than 100 countries. Yes, and we have around 7,500 employees around the world for all different GBUs, and the group itself exceed 1 billion in in revenue. Yes, for all different sectors. Yes, thermoceramics that we, like say, me, Charles, and Scott part of, and what we selling to the eye represent probably 30% of the 35% of the business. And the rest is technical ceramics, and graphite or carbon materials. In the end is in the MMS, that's crucibles that we can make that complete Morgan as a group. Yes. Next slide, please. And what's the main goals from Morgan? Yes, I think that is not only Morgan, but the majority of the companies around the world now is have some commitments to relate to pollutions or to emissions. Yes, and water consumption as well. Two main, let's say, what is more important to Morgan in general. If you can talk to any employee at Morgan or any GBU, the first priority of Morgan is safety. Safety to our employees. We want to everyone that came to Morgan can return to his house safe, and better when they came to work with us. Yes, or we stay they spend the time with us. And the second is ethical too. Yes, but we have more commitments around the world as well, is to reduce the emissions. The products that you make, that you offer, is the majority of them is linked to saving energy. And now more than ever we are be participate from projects to improving the lining or improving the insulation capability that you can reduce the emissions. What's our inspiration that we be able to achieve in 2050 net zero? Is not only Morgan, many big companies around the world have the same commitment. Yes, and use the water, or reduce the water consumption as well. Yes, but we want to, in 5 years, not so much time, we want to be able to reduce 50% for our emissions today, and have a reduction for 30% every month. We have all the different factories at Morgan, they share the results, and we have a lot of internal projects that will be help us to reduce this or to achieve these goals. Yes. The other part, as I mentioned, we want to have like we are very concerned about safety to our employees. Yes, and we don't want to have no one have any risk of accident inside Morgan, and we always focus uh, implementation for improvements in our process to protect the people. Yes, this is a part of our commitment global. Yes, on this. Yes, next slide, please. And what is our priorities? Yes, first, this is that a big is looks like sometimes it's generic, but it's exactly what we trying to do. Yes, we want to have a positive differentiation to the for all our customers, to our employees, to everyone on self, that we can be uh, support or make like a positive difference to the world. Yes, is that what we want to do. We have another one that sometimes is a little for someone that be in the call that already have some delays for our products. Yes, but our goal is delight the customer experience when they place an order, when they just have a contact with us. We always have want to have like a exceed the expectations. Yes, unfortunately, sometimes we continue need to focus on this because we have some issues internally that we can improve, and we want to focus in innovation. Yes, we have all one department, one plant inside of Morgan that only focus to make testings, to R&D, to look at the next generation of products, how that we can continue improving or have like a positive impact to the world. Yes, for different applications. Yes, this is what our priorities. Next slide, please. And our vision is exactly how that we work. We have our R&D that is scientists, all the SMEs responsible for the raw materials, the selections to make the products that we offer to the market today. We have persons like me or Scott, that's the application engineering. We know the different applications in the market, and we just check the properties for the products that we make, that we manufacture here, and just connect the dots. Yes, in that case, we offer the right product for the right application that have the to exceed the expectation from the performance. Some products cannot work in for all applications. Yes, that's so important that we have the application engineering involved on this. In the end, we have our customer service that provides service. In the end, we want to have a good experience when talk to us. If you just go to this circle, yes, this that is the basic how that you do in business. Yes, always have the customer focus to connect with customers to know what's their expectation, what they're looking for. With the R&D, if the application engineer to connect to offer the best solutions to our customers. Next slide. What the markets that you serve? Any application that you have the heat generation, or you need to save or protect someone for not receiving the radiation for the heat, you always can see some Morgan products there. Yes. In that case, we are. You can see, or you can for every car in the planet, you can see one of our products there. Yes, just imagine this. We are be part of for many applications, and that probably you don't know. We are part of the friction to your car. Yes, we have like a 3 to 4% for our material there in the friction pads that we can see for all cars that it be driving the planet. Yes, all the process to make gas or gasoline or H&M that is plastics, you can see our products there. Energy, yes. Any location that have heat generation, you can see some Morgan products there. Yes, this that what where you play and how that we focus our solutions to the market. Next slide, please. This that our global footprint for thermoceramics, not Morgan in general. This is just that you know what we can offer for each location. As the fiber is very light and is a big volume, we need to be able to manufacture locally or in each country, yes, that we can save in logistics and be able to attend the requirements for our customers much faster. Yes, in that case, we have like 22 sites around the world that make fibers or IFB, that lightweight bricks, castles, or microporous products. Next slide. And then what we can offer from the engineering or technology. Okay, this is available for our customers. If you have a situation that your customer don't know what they need to use for have like installation in their equipment or in their kiln, we have like we call that heat flow or simulations that we can apply the material there, and we can tell you how much will be the cold phase or how much energy you can have there. Yes, we make like transient calculations. If you have like a variation in temperature, we can be able to share you how that will probably be performing. Or if you have some customers that they need to do like a heat treatment that requires low uh, cool heat curve, we be able to do all these calculations for our customers. If we have like a case that the material is not performing, we can select samples and we can do many type of lab analysis to identify why the product is not performing correctly. Yes, sometimes we have like a chemical contamination or have other something else there that we don't know. We be able to make simulations in the lab with a sample of the product, and we can provide like a report to our customers with the right solution. Yes, and in case that you have like some failure inside, yes, or inside the kiln, we have our installation devices that can go to the field to make the analysis and create a report what should be doing for solve or not have this repeated again. Yes, this is available to our customers with no charge, and we always connect to the TSMs or your contact at Morgan. They always connect with the engineering department to provide the best solution or to provide the service to you. Yes, I think it's my last slide. Thank you for everyone. I hope that you can enjoy the rest of the presentation from Scott. Scott, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Luis. Uh, so, again, my name is Scott Higginbottom. My contact information is here. I do appreciate Lindsay offering us this opportunity to present to you today. Luis has given you information about Morgan and our capabilities. I will provide information about this particular application related to fire protection. So, next slide, please. So. And just a little bit further, Lindsay, there are about 7,000 fires per year, according to the NFPA, in restaurants. And a majority of those are from cooking equipment. So next slide. And yeah, so most of those are confined fires with very little damage to a building. And if you can start this video, please, Lindsay. So this is from a McDonald's in Cincinnati, and you can see this is not typical, but kind of thing that may happen. And this would be a fire that happened, and certainly this building was a complete loss. So you can continue, Lindsay. We'll just go on to the next slide. So that was what may happen in a restaurant where the fire is not confined, certainly, and does take over the entire building, just complete damage. And this is an exhaust duct, which you can see, the remains of the duct after those types of grease fires that may get out of control. Next slide, please. So fire control in buildings. So this is it's kind of the strategy, what we're trying to do. So, and what code tries to do. So, control of fire spread within a building relies on and requires compartmentation. So, buildings are divided into fire-safe compartments where fires can be contained, and these compartments must provide stability and integrity and proper installation during a fire to ensure the spread of fire does not occur. So stability is that property of a wall or a floor that'll prevent again, the wall or the floor not to collapse. Integrity of a fire-rated floor wall, prevents that there will be no gaps from which a fire can pass, and insulation is that property that prevents a spread of fire through conduction. So those are the three main properties for fire control. So a duct will represent a risk to maintaining fire compartmentation. So this is showing a fire-rated wall with a duct through it. And as you can see with this diagram, that if you did have a duct, if you allowed it, that the fire may go right through. It could be a risk to the integrity, a risk of installation, could be a risk to the stability because of the duct. So therefore, you must do something to prevent these things from happening. And so next slide, please, Lindsay. So so speaking specifically about grease ducts and kitchen exhaust ducts, IMC has a lot to say about that, particularly within IMC 506.3.11.2, talking about field applied grease duct enclosures. IMC says that these ducts should be listed and labeled in accordance with test ASTM E2336. Those ducts should be continuously covered from origin to outlet. Partial application of an enclosure is not allowed. It talks about the penetration should be protected with a fire stop system assembly tested to ASTM E814, UL 1479 with typically it'll be a 2-hour F&T rating equal to the assembly, the floor or the wall assembly, which is being penetrated. Installation of the grease duct enclosure in accordance with the listing and manufacturer's instructions. Exposed systems shall be protected from physical damage. So if you're installing one of these outside, you must protect it. And each duct should be within its own enclosure. So you can't wrap two grease ducts within a single enclosure. Each one should be within its own enclosure. So next slide, please. So we talked a little bit about listings. There was a mention in that last slide. So what are listings? So typically in the U.S., listings are from UL or Intertek. All the major wrap manufacturers are listed by UL or Intertek, including Thermal Ceramics. And these are independent. They require follow-up service audits to ensure the products we manufacture are consistent, and the materials that we tested some years ago do not change over time. The products we sell will be marked or labeled to identify, the certification body, and that the certification is for a system that meets a required test criteria, not a product. So that's an important point. I wanted just to spend the next couple of moments talking about that. So for example, for these kitchen exhaust ducts that are tested to ASTM E2336, those listings are for a wrap plus an installation method, plus, for example, a duct size and gauge, plus hanger supports, plus banding. It's all these things that go together for the enclosure. It's the listing isn't just for the wrap that we may sell to DI or to our customers. Those listings are for the entire system, the enclosure. I got the sort of a snip of two of our listings. The top one in our Intertek listing the top one is our UL listing for FastWrap XL. That enclosure, the bottom one for our Intertek listing for FastWrap XLS. So we go to the next slide. So this slide kind of is my maybe not the greatest attempt, but my attempt to sort of show this. So you take our FastWrap XLS wrap plus a 16 gauge duct plus the the installation description within the listing, put all those things together, then you would fulfill the requirements of Intertech, and you can be sure that you're meeting the requirements that Intertech put forth, and things would be, the proper way to do things. Similarly, if you took our FastWrap XL on a 16 gauge duct that was properly hung, supported, and took the installation methods as described in our UL listing, you would meet those requirements by UL, and everything would be, again, proper. That's a proper enclosure per UL. Now, next slide. So those things are counter or can be compared to taking, for example, FastWrap XLS. If you put that on a flexible duct, so not a 16 gauge duct, but just some flexible duct, and tried to wrap that per our listing, that would not meet anyone's listing. So you could not count on that to pass a 2-hour fire. That certainly would fall apart because the duct is not stable or not sturdy enough. Advance it one time, please. Or if you took someone else's wrap, put that on the 16 gauge duct, tried wrapping that per our installation directions in our UL listing, again, that's not compliant. So our wrap should be wrapped according to our directions, not someone else's wrap, because that would not be compliant. So again, the point is our products should be wrapped per our procedures and on ducts per our requirements. So products that we manufacture and we sell through DI, the legacy product we sell is FireMaster FastWrap XL. It's UL listed, 1.5 inch, 6 pound, 25-foot rolls offered in 2 foot and 4 feet wide. For a 2 foot wide roll, it's typically 37.5 pounds, purple print color, 2 layers for a 2-hour rating on the grease, 1 layer for 2-hour rating and ventilation, manufactured in USA, manufactured in Augusta, Georgia. And just sort of a snippet from the product data sheet on the right. Please advance. And the new product we offer is a FireMaster FastWrap XLS. This is the lightest weight product on the market, may be used for all the same applications. It's a 4.4 pound density, and so you'll find that it's 27% lighter per carton, so 27.5 pounds for the same 2 foot wide roll. So the printing on the foil encapsulation will be black instead of that purple. Still requires the same 2 layers for a grease duct, 1 layer for a ventilation duct, and still made in the USA in the same Augusta, Georgia factory. Next slide, please. And start this video, please. Not getting sound. So let's just skip this, Lindsay, if we're not getting sound. So we do have some, unfortunately, we do have some customer contractor, I should say, contractor testimonies in that video. I'd like the audience to be able to see that. I'm not sure it works without having the contractors be able to talk and sort of give their testimony on why they really like it and why they feel like it provides benefits. Please reach out to me. Probably you may be able to reach out to Lindsay. She can get you to us, get you to Thermal Ceramics. And just to say that we do have contractors who, went on and provided sort of independent testimony that, they really prefer this product over our legacy FastWrap XL and over the other guys that are on the market, their products also. But since we don't have sound in this video, maybe it's worth just skipping through. So for grease duct, for the installation of the products, both FastWrap XL and FastWrap XLS, those products go on exactly the same. So there are no differences if your customers at DI, if they're used to installing FastWrap XL, then the FastWrap XLS will go on in exactly the same manner. So it's butt joints all uh, of all seams, and so again, the products go on exactly the same for both products. Next slide. So this is a comparison of thermal ceramics versus the other major manufacturers that are on the market. The left-hand column is the FastWrap. Well, I have the weights of the XL and XLS that we've talked about. What's interesting is, again, it's a butt joint system. The first layer, butt joint, second layer, the diagram on the bottom, you can see that the only restrictions that thermal ceramics has is that second layer, that top butt joint has to be offset 6 inches from the first bottom, the interior layer butt joint. So there are two major competitors. One competitor also has a butt joint system, but if you were to research those guys, their listings do require their butt joints to be in top opposite corners. The other major competitor does not have a butt joint system. They do require you to overlap the second outer layer, and so that system would require an excess material versus the other two competitors. So it's probably something like 10% more material for installation of that system on the right versus the two systems in the left system, thermal ceramics, and the system in the center. So if there's pricing differences from the guys on the right, you have to take into account that you're going to use more material for that system versus the other two. So next slide, please. So this is a picture that I took at one of my favorite places to eat local to me in the Atlanta, Georgia metro area. It's a hamburger restaurant. There's a number of things that's wrong with this installation. The grease duct is in the sort of the back area there. And Lindsay, if you'll just advance several times, maybe 3 or 4 times. So you can see that's the grease duct, and that's good right there, Lindsay. So it is one layer that was installed. It's kind of a test of how well you were listening to as we went through the code sections earlier. So there was actually no banding there. The supports are welded to the duct. Our listing and all the competitors' listing tells you that you must use trapeze and angle iron supports, and these supports are actually welded right to the duct, so that's not going to be compliant to anyone's listings and requirements or installation instructions. Wrap's not continuous. That's within the code. It tells you to do that. It's got to be continuous, and that access doors, doesn't comply with anything, and there's no signage on the door. And if you look really closely, you can see a little bit of what looks like grease starting to leak out of the door. Probably has not been cleaned, maybe ever. So lots of issues there, and just wanted to point this out to you as a, again, point of interest. Next slide. For ventilation ducts, we have the two systems, FastWrap XL, FastWrap XLS, and both systems, again, may be installed in exactly the same manner. It's one layer will provide 2 hours fire resistance rating. The no difference. What I can say is that FastWrap XL is tested per ISO 6944. FastWrap XLS is tested to both ISO 6944 and ASTM E2816. If you need more information about particulars about those things, then please reach out to me or to the salesman in your area. Next slide. We do provide training to contractors in your area, and we can provide a certificate as needed to contractors. So their certificate would look something like this. That's sometimes required for projects for jurisdictions, and we can offer that either in person or virtually to contractors in your, that you may sell your products to. So again, please reach out to us if that's of interest. Next slide. And then the sort of a common question that comes up is regarding the taping and what to do. So just wanted to spend just one moment here. So we do ask that when contractors are cutting our material, that they do make sure there's no insulation that can be seen once they cut, they cut the foil encapsulation. We don't want any of the underlying blanket to be seen. There is no requirement that they tape the seams after they've done an installation. So there's no requirement to use, bunches and bunches of tape to tape over the seams, but they should use tape. A contractor should use tape to tape up the edges after they've done some cutting. So I think, Lindsay, please advance just a little bit. There's probably some additional writing that'll come up, but yeah, so it says if you cut it, tape it. So that's the only requirement from thermal ceramics, if you cut it to tape it. So next slide. So key takeaways, there's 3 or 4 things that'll come up here. So all manufacturers do require 2 layers for grease ducts, but there are differences in the installation. So contractors should be familiar with those, because if you don't install per the listings and manufacturing installation instructions, then you may be doing it incorrectly. So install thermal ceramics per the thermal ceramics listings. It's very important to do that. So the systems are fire resistance rated, not really the rat. FireMaster XLS is 4.4 pounds per cubic foot, which is 27% lighter than anything else on the market. And when in doubt, it's a life safety issue, so please ask. And what I didn't mention is that the FireMaster XLS is that lighter weight because we have made some improvements in our manufacturing process, and that's why we're able to do that. So proper installation is key to a safe system. Next slide. And so I think Charlie will be up next to talk about some additional capabilities of thermal ceramics.
All right. So I'm Charlie Pickens. As you read on the bio, I've been at Thermal Ceramics for a little while, and I've held a lot of positions from quality through operations, through planning, and now product management. So next slide. Okay, here's a basic slide on the formulations for the different products that we make. We make Kea wool, which is a blown product, Cerafiber, which is the spun. Those are 2 RCFs. High alumina Cerafiber is blown, and then the Cerachem that is run generally on a campaign basis and as demand warrants. Superwool Plus is our standard AES material, and then the Prime is the newest product that we've got on the market, and it's a higher rated product. So as you can see, Superwool Plus has a continuous use limit of 1100 C, whereas Superwool Prime is 1150. So it is a higher rated product. So next slide. So low biopersistent fibers, you guys can read this. Basically, the two that we have are the plus and the prime, and the prime actually can go. The classification is actually up to 1300 degrees C. So, and it has very low shrinkage. So it's a good fiber. It's non-wetting to aluminum, and it's, it's manufactured from pure oxides, and it's globally available. And we've got used patented low shot manufacturing technology. Next, biopersistence. So you may or may not have heard about this. Biopersistence is basically the ability of fibers to resist removal from the lungs by natural mechanisms. And that's in your lungs. Is it going to be dissolved or is it going to break away? And it's measured by the time it takes for half of the fibers introduced to disappear from the lungs. So they do a lot of testing for that, and that's done at independent labs. So it's a common standard for this type of fiber. Next. So it's asking about what is shot. So if you ever hear shot content, people that aren't in the business or may not have or may be new to the business, it's got shot are those little balls like on the far right that are not turned into a fiber. So the fiber process takes a molten stream of glass, and you either blow it or spin it into a fiber. And the little tiny bit that doesn't get turned into a fiber or stretched into a fiber will be shot, and it's a fibrous bulbous end. So next slide. That stuff feels like basically like salt, like table salt in the process. So and now we're super low biopersistent fibers compared to our competitors AES fibers. The shot tests. So this shows you that our Superwool Plus has low shot content. We typically run about, it shows 33 to say 37%. So that is lower than our competitors, which is between 43 and 49%. The thermal conductivity improvements due to that reduced shot, which is important because basically that's what you buy a blanket for, is for thermal conductivity. Next. This shows the composition and the continuous use classification. So this isn't nothing is new there, but thermal conductivity, you can see that our thermal conductivity is quite a bit better, and in the end that's what you buy insulation for, is to the insulating qualities. Next. So why plus or prime? So plus and prime, they got the high thermal insulation. We're efficient at restricting heat flow and maintaining other key material properties. We reduce energy loss due to the higher fiber index, which means lower shot. We got a thinner fiber, which gives greater surface area, and greater surface area allows for a better insulating property, which gives lower energy pass through, which is lower thermal conductivity, which means that you use less energy to heat whatever process you're using. Then you got lower thermal conductivity with improved insulation by 20% compared to the other competition. Material weight savings by up to 25%. You can have up to a 20% lower thermal conductivity than the other competitive blankets. And with lower thermal conductivity, you can have lower density. Next. So here's some thermal imagery of Superwool Plus. So on the two, they're the same products you can see. Superwool Plus on the right has got some explanations. It's got the competitor on the top left, Cereblanket on the top right, Superwool Plus in 6-pound on the bottom left, and Superwool 8-pound on the bottom right. So it shows that it was heated to 1,000 degrees for 2 hours and steady state was achieved. And you can see what the results were. Blue is better in this case. So you can see that Superwool Plus is actually a lot more insulating, which is what we pay for. And the 8-pound provides significantly lower cold face temperature than the competitor's 8-pound, and the 6-pound or 96 kilogram per cubic meter provides lower cold face temperature compared to the 8-pound of the competitor. So that's pretty good. Next. Okay, Superwool Prime developed for high performance applications with a classification temperature of 1300 C. So that's a really high temperature for an AES fiber. Some of the features: physical and thermal performance equivalent or better to our competitor. To our competitor and also to Superwool Plus because it's got a higher temperature rating. High temperature capability providing increased resiliency for processes and safety of employees, and it's got superior thermal conductivity. Excellent handleability, meaning it feels good, is really flexible, and it's got tensile strength due to the low shot fiber technology and chemistry. Next. So this shows what Prime looks like in our test facility. So the test panel at the Fiber Center of Excellence was completed to compare the real world temperature performance of a stacked module. Now these are stacked, not folded, made from Superwool Prime with 1300 degree grade low biopersistent fiber insulation with market competition. And you can see Superwool Prime is up on the top left. Our competitor AES is top right and bottom right and bottom left. So you can see it's a lot cooler because the temperatures are closer to blue and green. And you can see on the far right the temperatures, and the Superwool Prime is the lowest one. It's got the red on the bottom, so it is much cooler by about 200 degrees than two of the samples. So that's pretty significant. So Prime has very low thermal conductivity, and that shows in that thermography there. Next. So this is a comparison of an 8-pound Superwool Plus showing 10 to 15% lower thermal conductivity versus our competitor with the same composition blanket, their AES blanket. Shows that we've got at 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, we're at 1.73 versus 2.0. So if you're getting high temperatures, that's a fair amount of thermal conductivity difference. So that means dollars. So less energy input means that you're saving money. Next. And then this is a 6-pound compared to an 8-pound competitor. So this shows that our 6-pound Superwool Plus is basically has the same thermal performance as our competitor's 8-pound blanket. So that's pretty significant. That means weight savings and cost savings. So that should be much better. Next. And then low biopersistent versus RCF. Next. So this shows the property comparison. So it shows that Superwool Plus is rated about 300 degrees lower than RCF. Classification temperature is about a little over 200 degrees less. Thermal conductivity is lower, but it can only go up to 1832, whereas RCF can go up to 2150 continuous use. So, and the biopersistence, meaning the half-life of the fibers, is 300 days for RCF fibers, and superwool is less than 10. So that is a good thing in use. It's got key advantages of Plus or low biopersistence, low shrinkage up to the classification temperature, and it's got better thermal conductivity. Next. So Superwool Plus on average is 15 to 20% better insulator than RCF, which is what we just talked about. So right there is a graph. It shows you, pretty self-explanatory. So Plus at temperatures better. So tensile strength. The RCF fiber is a tougher fiber, so it lends itself to a higher tensile strength. Superwool Plus, being that it's an AES fiber, is somewhat weaker, but the trade-off is it's not as tough or as strong as the RCF fiber, but you do get lower thermal conductivity, so you get a better um, a better insulator. So and then the pictures on the right show this is an experiment that, so what that is a person in a crane. Basically, they took a roll, held it by the end, and then let it unroll by itself. And you can see it ripping out of his hands. So that test 1 is a Superwool Plus blanket, and then test 2 is a full roll of the AES from our competitors. So shows that that our blanket actually has really good really good tensile strength. So next. So this is just Power Block, shows that Superwool Plus and R grade are that shows the different temperature ratings, and so that's just what we've been talking about, Superwool versus RCF. Next. And then shows the shrinkage and shows that Superwool Plus has got very low shrinkage up to its use temperature. Then above that, you got to use RCF. Next. And that's just the Superwool Plus classification temperature. And then next, fiberglass shows that Superwool Plus has much lower thermal conductivity than fiberglass, all the way up to the use temperature. So that's all I got for fibers. We're standing by for your questions.
Thank you so much. If you have questions, please use the GoToWebinar questions panel. I do have one here from Travis. I believe this will be for Scott to answer. He asked, what do you recommend for AHJ if they turn down a job for not taping all joints that thermal ceramics does not require?
Lindsay, can you repeat that, please?
They asked, what do you recommend for AHJ if they turn a job down for not taping all joints and other requirements that thermal ceramics does not require?
Yeah, so there are no requirements in our listings that joints be taped. So if as a contractor, or if the question is, if that question was submitted by DI, if that sort of thing comes up, I would recommend that you reach out to Thermal Ceramics, and we can have those conversations with that jurisdiction, and certainly try to work that out. Because again, there are no requirements within our listings, and taping over joints was not the way our systems were tested and we're not required to obtain our listings and so forth. So that should not, an inspector should not be pushing that and requiring that within the jurisdiction. So we can work with the contractor, work with the customer to certainly not have that requirement be pushed on you. So certainly reach out to us so that we can help out with that.
Perfect. Thank you for taking time today while we're waiting for some other questions to come in. I wanted to remind the audience that DI, as a distributor, offers this webinar platform as a way for our manufacturing partners to inform customers about their products. And we offer this platform to all of our manufacturing partners. If there's no further questions, I want to thank you all again for joining us and have a great rest of your day.